This video is for all instructional coaches of how to build a rapport with teachers. Trust is a key to building and maintaining adult relationships. As an instructional coach, it is important to be positive, understanding, and leave a teacher feeling empowered to improve in their craft. This video will demonstrate 2 ways you, as an instructional coach, can build a trusting relationship with the teachers you observe. It will also demonstrate 2 ways of communicating effective feedback. Hello there. My name is Leah Martinez, and I am the new instructional coach. I look forward to getting to know you better. What is your name, please?
My name is David Martinez.
It's very nice to meet you, Dave. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about myself. I have been a teacher for 18 years. I have a master's in reading for elementary, which allows me to help teachers with students having difficulties in reading, and a master's in curriculum and instruction, which can help teachers in designing best lessons for all students. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. I've been a teacher now. This is my 14th year. I've taught all in the junior high level at the same charter school. And I'm very proud to say that I've been at one school for my entire time. Junior high is what I wanted to teach, and that's where I'm at.
Very nice. I know when I was a teacher, I used to set goals for myself as a way to help improve my skills and help the students overall in my classroom. Some of my goals included making more collaborative projects or differentiating, pulling small groups back for reading and math, and it's in order to reach all students. Do you have any goals that you have in mind?
I certainly do. At the junior high level, we have a very unique situation where we have to kind of get these kids ready for high school, and I tend to get a lot of shy kids, sometimes more girls than boys. But one of the major projects that I do every year is to get kids to be advocates for themselves, to get them to speak up and learn how to do that. And I create intentional situations for them to do that. Number one, making them completely responsible for their absent work, having to approach myself, my classroom aide, and have to speak up for themselves on little levels like that. Little by little, they get more comfortable in the classroom, and they also get more exercise with that when it comes to during oral presentations of research reports and things like that, where they have to stand behind a podium, they have to use technology, and little by little through their 7th grade year, they get more familiar with that process. Not to mention our daily activities of reading out loud in class through our novels. So all these things are one of my biggest goals every year, is to get kids to be comfortable speaking for themselves and being advocates for themselves in and out of the classroom.
Perfect. That sounds like very good goals. Thank you. Hello there. My name is Leah Martinez, and I have a wonderful husband who is a teacher and 2 amazing kiddos. My daughter is 12, and she actually has my husband for a teacher. My son Davey is 10, and he's in 4th grade. He was retained in 2nd grade because of his lack of reading skills. This was a hard decision for my husband and I to make, and it was very frustrating. And I thought that with us both his dad and I being teachers, and us providing tutors and all that, I was just at a loss for words. So what I ended up doing is had to put my pride away, and I went ahead and said, you know what, let's do the best for him. And his 2nd year of 2nd grade, it really ended up being the best thing for him. So it was beneficial. So please tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I think as a teacher, when it comes to things like that, pride and whatnot, I think pride in this case isn't necessarily a bad thing, because we get proud of our lessons. We put a lot of hard work into our lessons, and
Sure.
when you have lessons that go well, for instance, every single year, so when it comes to a particular standard, you think, okay, I always teach this standard this way or this concept this way, and for the most part it always works, and there's very little adjustment that goes on. Unfortunately, every now and again, because of that, we get complacent, and we don't realize that we're going to have those years where we may have to completely rewrite everything and start over from scratch, and all those lessons that we did, that we put our heart and souls into and long hours developing, now don't work, and you have to kind of start all over again. And Though there can be some rough patches with that, I think anything that comes along and shakes up complacency is valid just for that, because it teaches you to think it all over again. And usually, even with the best lessons that we might do, when you have to go back and redevelop it, sometimes you even redevelop it even better than it was before. And
Right.
you realize that maybe that pride got in the way at first, maybe that initial stubbornness or frustration got in the way at first, but when the smoke kind of clears and the dust settles, you realize, wow, not only do I have my original lesson plan, which is still a really good one, but now I have this other lesson plan, so should I find myself in that position again, now I can pull from that one and not have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, and start all over again. So in the end, it winds up being a good thing.
So it sounds like you might be looking forward to possible goals that I can help you improve on.
Absolutely, because certainly at the junior high level, we have a lot of different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention just what happens on the junior high level with who they are as people, and keeping teenagers engaged has its own challenges, just like any grade level does.
Right.
So we are certainly looking to try to figure out as many ways as possible to reach them on as many levels as we can.
Okay, great. Thank you for allowing me to observe you today. I noticed that most of the students were engaged. I wrote what you did and said in black, and then I made some suggestions with the blue pen. Let's look at this together.
Great.
Do you see right here?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I like that.
Do you have any questions or concerns?
I really don't, but I do appreciate the feedback for sure. I'll
Alright.
definitely look at those things a little bit more closely and see what I can do with them.
All right. Again, thank you for allowing me to observe you.
Absolutely.
Good afternoon. Today we will take a look at our DIBELS testing and our data from there. I see that you have a high percentage of students working at benchmark level, but there are just a few students at the strategic and the intensive level. So my question is, having them do some oral reading fluency, what are some things that you do in your class that you might be able to help those students?
Absolutely. At the junior high level that I am at, we have those students for 2 years. So unlike a lot of junior highs, we really get an opportunity to not only build a rapport with them, but to have a golden opportunity to package them up well and send them off to high school. And one of the things that I know is going to be intense in high school is their literature and their reading and whatnot. So I like to model. I like to do a lot of modeling in there. Personally, being extroverted and being a bit outspoken, when we read novels and whatnot, I like to do the voices and really build it up, almost like it's dramatic production.
Sure.
And so it gets the kids very comfortable with, okay, well, if he can read with that much emotion, enthusiasm, inflection, tone, and whatnot, then it must be okay for me then to take it up a couple of levels and be in a safe spot where I can do that and not be worried about what my peers are going to say or anything else like that. Right. So I definitely like to do a lot of modeling when it comes to that kind of thing. And it also makes the novels kind of come to life a little bit. It makes the oral reading time something they get to do rather than something they have to do. So when they kind of get on board with that and realize that that's a good thing, to do within reason, I might take it a little farther sometimes, but it helps make reading more enjoyable. So I try to model that this is something that we get to do rather than something that they have to do. And so it does make reading more fun, whatever it is that they're reading. Obviously novels and literature can be more fun by themselves, but it doesn't put their mindset as reading as work when it comes to research reports and things like that, where the information can be maybe a little bit more dry. So the more modeling that I can do, making reading fun, then the better it seems to go sometimes.
So it sounds like with that modeling and you allowing them to see you being that character, have you ever tried readers theater? And the reason I asked that is because there was an article that I read and it said that readers theater actually done every day can improve a grade level, like a whole class, a whole grade level. So that's something that, because you model that, I'm wondering if you've ever done that before.
I've heard of it. I've never really looked into it as far as does it apply to the junior high level or not. I'll just use simple audiobooks off of YouTube as an adjunct to me reading, so they get to hear somebody else's voice. Sometimes a female voice, which is always nice. They have different ways of animating the books, but I'll certainly look into that because that is something that is a useful tool on the junior high level, then definitely I would like to put that in play.
Right, and that is allowing not only them to hear it, but they actually get to speak it and practice it, and then they get to use their voice, and that helps with their reading fluency, and it also helps with their comprehension and understanding, because they kind of have to act it out. So
Right.
that might be a useful tool.
I will definitely look into that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.